Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Nathan Disk, and I'm here to be your strategy sidekick. Today, we're going back to the basics, but the basics are important. And if you're just starting out in digital marketing, I know it can all feel a little overwhelming, right? Well, don't worry, because today, I'm going to give you a lay of the land with some important information you can use to help get your journey started. By the end, you'll have a solid foundation for what digital marketing is and why it's so important to your business. Then we'll touch on the different platforms and channels you can use to market through. Lastly, I'll make sure to give you some tips to make sure your efforts are successful. I know you're chomping at the bit, so let's get into it. So, what exactly is digital marketing? In simple terms, it's any marketing effort that happens over the internet. Businesses can leverage digital channels like search engines, social media, email, or websites to connect with current or prospective customers. Unlike traditional marketing, which might include print ads, phone communication, or physical marketing, digital marketing happens entirely online. So that all probably sounds pretty straightforward, but considering how integrated the internet is into our lives nowadays, the digital marketing landscape has become the primary way modern businesses communicate with consumers. It has grown into a beast of an industry, and in 2023 alone, it was estimated to be valued at $780 billion globally. And with that growth, we have seen a lot of new opportunity to market in different channels and platforms. So yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, but I'll do my best to break it down for you so you can wrap your head around it and dive in on your own. If you're not already aware, digital marketing is incredibly important to every business for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, as marketers, before we can sell anything, we need to be able to communicate value to people. And in order to do that, we need to be reaching people where they spend their time. And nowadays, that's online. It's estimated that on average, people spend about 8.5 hours every day with a screen in front of their face. That's a ton of time, but I'm certainly no exception, as some days, sadly enough, I probably blow those numbers out of the water. All that to say is that you need to be reaching people where they are, and digital marketing is key to doing that. Secondly, and arguably even more important than just reaching people, is the incredible power of the data that digital marketing provides. In traditional marketing, gauging the effectiveness of an ad can be challenging and often imprecise. You might know how many flyers you handed out or how many people saw your billboard, but it's tough to measure how deeply these efforts impacted people's decisions or how many actually even led to a sale. In contrast, digital marketing offers an abundance of metrics that can be analyzed in real time. You can not only see how many people clicked your ad, but what actions they took on your site and if they made a purchase or not. Analytical tools like Google Analytics, Meta Ads, and other platforms offer an in-depth view of your audiences and their behaviors. This data is incredibly powerful, and it allows us as marketers to refine our strategies based on what's working and what's not. If a particular ad isn't performing well, we can tweak it or pull it without having to wait till the campaign is over. This ability to pivot quickly is not only cost-effective, but it also ensures we're constantly optimizing our efforts to make sure we're engaging with our audience as effectively as possible. Think about it. How powerful is it to not only know that your ad was seen, but how people felt about it? Was it engaging enough to get people to click on it? These insights are game changers in the world of marketing, but I'll take it one step further. The data not only helps you advertise better, but it helps you run your business better flat out. By understanding your digital marketing data, you can make better strategic decisions for your business as a whole, especially when it comes to the financial metrics that relate to your overall business health. Now, that's a huge topic that we'll save for a later time. But as you can see, digital marketing isn't just about being where the eyes are. It's about engaging intelligently with those eyes. It's about using data to not only drive your marketing, but your entire business. And modern business is driven by data, so without it, you'll get left behind. All right, so now that I've totally sold you on why digital marketing is so important, let's get back to the basics so you can understand the landscape a little bit better. By and large, there are three main categories of digital marketing. And these categories are primarily determined by the objective that any single business is trying to achieve. The first category is e-commerce. E-commerce businesses are primarily focused on selling products directly to consumers through digital platforms. The goal here is straightforward: to convert online users into customers by encouraging them to complete a purchase directly online. So, if you're selling apparel, for example, you would be considered e-commerce. The second category is lead generation, or lead gen. This type of business is focused on gathering information from prospects, such as contact details, through forms that they can use to nurture leads into customers over time. The main objective here isn't necessarily an immediate sale, but rather building a database of potential customers. This includes a lot of B2B businesses or anything that requires sales to happen through a salesman or in person. If you run a landscaping business, for example, you probably want to be gathering leads online so you can follow up and maybe deliver a quote. Lastly, we have local or awareness marketing, and this is exactly how it sounds. You're not trying to sell directly online, or you don't necessarily need leads, but your goal is to gain awareness of your brand, maybe so people can buy from you locally or in person. Restaurants, for the most part, would be a good example of this. Alright, so your business is going to fall into one or more of those three categories. Each category has its own needs and strategies, especially when we're determining what digital marketing mediums or channels to advertise through. Now, there's a lot more that goes into picking the right digital channel for your business that I cover a lot more in depth in my other videos. But for now, I'm going to give you an outline of the most popular channels and mediums that you should be thinking about as you dive into digital marketing on your own. So let's talk about digital marketing channels. And what I mean by that is any place or platform online that you can use to communicate with consumers. These channels fall into two main categories. The first are paid channels, and this refers to any platform that you have to pay money directly to in order to advertise on. This generally includes your ad platforms. Then you have your unpaid or organic channels, and this refers to any means of communication that you can do that you don't have to pay for, like blogs, social media posts, and stuff like that. So we have our paid channels and our organic channels. Let's start by diving into some of the organic mediums you can use to market through. So, like I said before, this encompasses anywhere online that you can get your message across without having to pay a platform money. So, things like written content, things like blogs, white papers, articles, and more. If you're a good writer and can draw a lot of eyes to your blogs, it can be a great way to get attention. Then you have YouTube or video content, similar to written content but in video form. If you can grow your following, this can be another great way to showcase your brand. Then you have your social media channels. Things like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you have or can build up a strong organic following in these platforms, this is one of the better options to advertise organically. Another very important one is search engine marketing, or SEO. This involves optimizing website content to rank higher in the search engine result pages for relevant keywords. Simply showing up more when people search for products or services similar to yours can take you a long ways. And this includes local SEO, which means ranking higher on things like Google Maps when someone searches for something in your area. Then you have your email marketing. This one is hugely important and fairly self-explanatory, but being able to send emails to people is key for any modern business. You should always be working on building up your email lists. It's a great way to reach people in an incredibly cost-effective way. All right, so that's the majority of the most popular organic channels you can use to market through. There are a few others like podcasting and forums, but by and large, the ones we covered are the most important ones that you should be thinking about. And just because they're free does not mean it's easy. Growing your followings in these channels does not happen overnight, and it can be a long, slow process. If you already have huge followings in one of those channels or are gaining a ton of traction, you are already well ahead of the game. For most, we'll be starting at ground zero, and it can be a long, slow build-up. So, I generally recommend that you grow your organic following in tandem with running paid ads. So, we'll talk about that next. Alright, so like I said before, paid channels are places where you can pay money to place your ads. These are things like pay-per-click advertising, or PPC, which includes running ads on search engines like Google, AdWords, and Bing Ads. Advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked, hence pay-per-click. It's a great way for driving traffic to your website quickly, and for businesses who have a lot of people searching for their products or services, this can be a great way, as these users often have really high intent. Next, you have your social media advertising. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Snapchat offer sophisticated targeting options to reach specific demographics and interests. Ads can be tailored based on users' interests, behaviors, location, and more. It's a great way to run paid ads nowadays. Then there's display advertising. These are things like banners and sidebar ads displayed on websites across the internet. Platforms like Google Display Network and programmatic advertising networks allow you to place ads on numerous websites that your target audience visits. Then we got our video advertising. This includes commercials that appear before, during, or after videos that are played on YouTube or other streaming platforms. Fairly self-explanatory, but can be a great way to gain awareness for your brand. Up next is influencer marketing. There's a lot of crossover here, and it could be considered organic on some levels, but brands often pay influencers to promote their products to the influencer's audience. This can be particularly effective on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Then there's affiliate marketing. This includes paying for a performance where affiliates earn commission on generating sales, leads, or clicks to your website. This can be done through blog posts, social media, or other digital content. The last one we'll talk about is OTT marketing, or over-the-top marketing. And this is a way for brands to advertise directly to consumers through streaming platforms on TV, maybe like Hulu or something. As you can see, that list is pretty long, and there's probably more that I'm just forgetting about right now. But like I said, it's a massive industry. And unlike organic channels where it's usually a long, slow build to reach a lot of people, in paid advertising, the amount of people you reach is largely dependent on your marketing budget. The higher the budget, the more people you can reach and quicker. And there is no one-size-fits-all, end-all, be-all advertising channel. In most cases, a good marketing strategy will involve a mix of different channels, both paid and organic, to be most effective. The key to understanding the right channel to use will be dependent on things like what you sell, what your ideal customer looks like, what presence you already have, and what kind of budget you're willing to invest. In that sense, your business is unique, and since I'm talking to you through a camera and not face-to-face, I can't exactly help you answer that question as it relates to your business. But I do have some other videos on my channel that hopefully can help you. Now, before I leave you, I want to give you the key to unlocking your digital marketing potential. And to put it simply, that key is your data. To further my earlier point, marketing online provides you with a wealth of knowledge regarding your audiences, your tactics, what's working or what's not. If you're able to parse through and understand your data proficiently, digital marketing just becomes a game of constant iteration and improvement. It is what guides your strategy and lets you know if you're being successful or not. It helps tell you where to allocate your resources and where not to. If a certain channel is doing well, then you know you want to put more resources towards that. With that being said, measuring your success really comes down to setting solid goals. And that means understanding how much you're willing to pay for a customer or how much money you're willing to spend in a platform versus how much you get out of it. This is going to require you to analyze your business finances to determine how much a customer or lead is worth to you. Then you got to make sure you're covering your overhead and other expenses to set an accurate performance goal that will actually make you money. A misguided or inaccurate goal can lead you down a path you do not want to take. It can sink your business. So make sure you have a solid grasp on your business finances to set a goal that will actually make you money. After that, it'll be a lot easier to determine success and adapt. Finally, since your marketing data is key, you need to ensure you're analyzing it and tracking it properly. Make sure your web analytics is set up and make sure that any ad platforms you plan on running with are actually tracking performance properly. Bad data leads to bad decisions, so seriously, get squared away with your tracking before you even think about running paid ads. If you let good, clean data lead your decisions, it makes it really hard to be wrong. There's a multitude of metrics you can use to analyze performance and make sure your time and money is being spent wisely. We'll cover those metrics later, but seriously, make sure your tracking is clean and accurate. And look, I know digital marketing isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It can be challenging sometimes. The industry is constantly growing and new stuff is always coming out. It makes it really hard to keep up with it all. Beyond that, each part of digital marketing requires you to learn a new platform or technology that might not be so straightforward. It can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. But trust me when I say it's not as challenging as it seems. Start with the basics and learn how to analyze data and what different metrics mean. The metrics used in digital marketing are fairly universal across different channels and platforms. Once you have that down, you got the basics. All that's left for you to do is to create a strategy and then learn how to press some buttons. And I probably don't have to tell you this, but YouTube is a great source for information like this. Plus, I'll be creating more videos on topics like this in the future. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and check in with me regularly. That way we can work through this together and you can sell more.